rejoice, rejoice, I know a birth, a prince of war, a birth of violence, cry for our concrete master, and if we beg to be put down, unto us the most inspired storm, a princess ravaged by his brain, the birth of sex and distance, two frack corpses both were they, his eyes were the first to stray, every tree held fast and turned to sky, concrete replaces each branch and twig as they were free, upon the birth of ambition, heavens filled our gilded vessel with voids and tears, before we drink, I propose a toast of final prayers to the watchers in the world, to the last days, unto us the most inspired song.
Naturally, if you are weak, you will need somebody to look up to. The ones who control the media understand human nature and know that most people are like sheep who will follow anybody who they perceive as better than themselves. The way the peasants used to look up to the royals because they fed them a starvation diet is the same way you look up to celebrities. Biochemically, you can't control it, you're just a follower. Quite often the so-called artists that you idolize, such as musicians and actors, don't actually do much of the work themselves. The people behind the scenes are the ones who create the so-called art. You idolize the illusion of who you want them to be, not who they actually are. All that they need to do is put on a lot of makeup to look better, and a lot of them look awful without it. Create a few brain-dead movies, and there you go. You've got slaves catering to other slaves. It's on their level, which is why you enjoy it. As I've said before, 99% of people are retarded. What does it mean if what you create appeals to them? It means that you are retarded too. If your content provokes people and even pisses them off, then you can know that you're actually doing something right. You gotta realize that the people you look up to are the same slaves that used to walk among you, except that they got lucky. They still have the same worthless values. It's also not as if you actually need to be a good musician to get a record deal and become rich and famous. It's not how it works whatsoever. There are very specific requirements, and one of them is for you to be sodomized. This way they will always feel like they have control over you, and you will always feel like you are their slave. At the end of the day, the only reason you watch and listen to all of this crap and are fascinated by them is because you are dissatisfied with your own life. Nobody would care about somebody else's life if they would be happy with how their own life is going.
The main purpose of movies is not entertainment, it's programming. There are many so-called truthers out there who still brainwash themselves daily by consuming them because they believe that they are not affected by them just because they have figured out the symbolism in some of them. Yes, the movies have a lot of Masonic symbolism, for example, but that has basically nothing to do with how the movies program you, and for some reason people just don't understand this and keep watching them. It's especially ironic when they describe themselves as red-pilled, which is supposed to mean that they are awake, but they don't realize that they are quoting a Hollywood movie made for dumb slaves. The movie tries to destroy the nature of women, portraying one of them with short hair, holding and shooting weapons, which a woman actually never could. Hollywood for the most part promotes women to be thin and infertile looking. Sunglasses are portrayed as cool even though they destroy your eyesight. There's incredibly much moral and religious brainwashing in movies, but you wouldn't even notice it because you live by them every day already. The movies keep reinforcing it. Relationships between men and women are always portrayed over the top, dramatic. They always play games with each other. Women always want drama to a point where they even start longing for it. Every intimate moment in a Hollywood movie is completely unrealistic. The food that they eat in these movies is always slave food, which the truthers also see as normal. None of them get that diet is the #1 conspiracy. Spider-Man promotes nanotechnology and makes the youth believe that genetically modified organisms are beneficial. It also makes them believe that unnatural couples like this are normal, if you get what I mean. The future is almost always portrayed the same way in movies. That's obviously not because we are naturally heading that way, but because the people behind the movies want to program us to accept that the future will be the way they want it to be.
It is in our nature to admire and appreciate all kinds of beauty. That includes human beauty. Some celebrities are naturally beautiful, which is why they are being used. This is why companies use models to advertise their products. Quite often you will see a news piece of a car accident, and if somebody beautiful died, everybody will be saying what a tragedy it is. What a shame that this beautiful young girl died. We may not be conscious of it today, but all of us appreciate a healthy and well-developed body. If somebody with Down syndrome would die in the accident, nobody would be calling it a tragedy. Some people may act and say how sad they are, but deep down they wouldn't care. There's nothing wrong with admitting this. Not so long ago in our human history, we used to, let's just say, get rid of deformed humans because we knew that their lives are not worth living. We stopped doing that, and we are not doing them or anybody around them a favor.